Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gears Pro League. I am Colin the Crow Clark, and Jacob MVP and I are working on our coordinated mic cord throws over the shoulder to try to make it look good. Try to do that in sync. A little bit off on my end. I'm sorry about that. I'll be better next time.
Hey, the glory of it is we didn't even know during the commercial break. We don't even get to see each other. It's just something that just happened. And that's how you know this duo is strong. We make the same mistakes together. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? If you guys missed it, we had two great matchups so far. We have multiple round number 9s. We had map number 3s. We had big opportunities, big plays being made, and some upsets happen to both our predictions and some of these teams so far. Colin, what do you think of the day so far?
Been fantastic for everybody. I mean, the biggest winner here today is anybody that's a fan of Gears Esports. 2 round 9s in our first 2 matchups of the day. Elevate takes it over the side of Rise over there on the side station, and then we come over here to the main station, and you get Fire and Ice falling short on round 9 on our main station. So I can't believe what I was, how good these 2 first matches are. But now, I mean, look, we do have a match of the week later on. It's Vanquish and E United, but this is one of those moments where it's like, are you sure we don't have 2 matches of the week? Are you sure? Because we're about to have Hive, who's undefeated, going against probably a pretty pissed off team right now.
It pissed off indeed. If you guys didn't even hear it during that last game, we had a little bit of an update. Colin said it. Map number 3, Elevate versus Rise. Round number 9, map 3, like we said. That was Elevate taking out Rise, and that was one heck of a battle. And Colin, I know we didn't get to see it, but a round number 9 between Elevate and Rise, is that what you expected?
I don't, not with the way that they performed yesterday. What I do expect, though, is a little bit of friendly banter, because TJ put his channel points on his opponents. He bet against himself.
Hey, whatever makes the money at this point, man. But he didn't make any money. He's just giving it away.
I'm out here like, if I'm TJ's boss, if I'm Force's boss, I'm like, wait, what?
I was like, that's one of those tweets I see coming from Noey. There's no I in team, but there's a me.
And I swear, oh God. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a hell of a matchup, though. It's 4v4 now, and we're going to take a look at something. We got a key player matchup. It's pretty interesting. It's basically the 2 power hitters, the 2 power slayers for these squads. INZEM, who got dropped from Rise, being compared against head-to-head in a key player matchup against the guy that basically has to pick up that slack now. You talk about how good Rushiez is in the initial. Well, now he's got to be good across the board. And the number one thing that stands out to me is not only is INZEM better in the overall kills over death category, he's a little bit closer. He's better in KDA. He's better in true engagement. I mean, it just seems like INZEM right now is probably on a mission. Like, look, he's kind of like that dude from Troy. He's like, this is what you left me for. This is who I got dropped for. All right, that's fine.
I'm definitely going to show you what you're missing. And I was the first one kind of admitted. When this was 5v5, I was looking at INZEM as the player to get released. You got to look at the chemistry with the other players, the core, how well they mesh together. I thought INZEM and Rushiez were very, very similar play styles. They do very, very similar duties. INZEM gets released, and oh man, was that not the best decision of his career. He has found a new level of comfortability within this Hive roster. He's a huge playmaker, and he's taken his portion of the kills. You saw it was about 25+% of the team's kills going of his way. You talk about this man can do everything. He's showing exactly why. And if you guys have been paying close attention to each and every map and each and every one of these series, he has been making big play after big play for this roster. And you can always wonder why they are number 1, because they're rounded out by incredible players as well. On the flip side of things, I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate. Rushiez and Rise. Rushiez has been a player, even when it was 5v5, I was looking at him to step up or shut up. Not necessarily shut up, but you need to step up in these situations. When you were back on Ghost Gaming, when you were back on Reciprocity, you were a massive part of the team's success. When you were a slaying powerhouse, making teams not send only 1, but 2 and possible 3 players over to try and kill you, open it up for your team. Yeah, you haven't been that force. You haven't been the same. Blaze talks about there's levels to this. There's even levels to Rushiez, and I need to see the top level of Rushiez come out in this matchup.
Well, we're going to find out where their top levels are because we have their picks and bans. We're going to have to figure out where they've decided to fight this war. And right now, TG, Vasgar, we get back-to-back first map TGs for both teams. And Rise was impressive on Training Grounds last night. I don't know how it pulled out against Elevate, but they get Training Grounds, a map they're probably pretty comfortable on. We go to Vasgar, and the tiebreaker ends up being Harbor. PR, what stands out most to you?
When it comes to this, I think a lot of these maps suit the Hive playstyle. I talked about Training Grounds earlier on, a map that you can kind of see get tossed out of the window for some of these teams for the close quarters combat because it is so wide open in most aspects. But because of the way teams play it towards that U, especially when a big weapon does get placed down, it narrows it down to a close quarter combat style map. Vasgar and Harbor, two very, very similar maps as well. So if I'm looking at this map cycle, I'm a little scared right now. If I'm Rise, I'm a little scared indeed.
I mean, I'd be scared too. I'm so scared, PR, that I went and got my Retro Lancer. I'm so afraid of how these teams are going to play these maps. And I said, I need some of my firepower with me, boy. I went and got my Retro, the higher caliber bullet, a little shorter snub. I can't get the accuracy that the Lancer Mark III has, but boy, I'll put you down in the ground. No way about it.
I hope somebody makes that into a GIF. Tom Hunter, go. Somebody, I need that as a GIF. I need it tweeted out ASAP. Call it with the Retro Lancer, and please call it. I know you have a lot of acres to do this. I need to see a retro charge somewhere by the end of the year. I need to see it happen, but I don't want to take away from
the man together for you just for that. I'll put a scarecrow for you together just
please,
for that.
Guys, make Colin go viral. But I don't want to take too much away from this matchup because honestly, you said it perfectly as this one. We have two matches of the week. This is our unofficial match of the week. I'm ready for predictions, but I don't want to go first, Colin. I got to hear yours first.
You're going to put me on the spot once again, having to go first. Look, everybody knows my storied history and how much I love Franchis and how I thought Icy would probably be the player to outshine just about everybody in the league when it came to 4v4. But there's one man on Hive that just keeps me coming back for more. He is just the perfect soldier. I call him it every time I talk about him. If you want a job done, I know you might dial 1-800-DAYS, but I get on the old ham radio and I call Solurs. I'm picking Hive to come away with this victory, and I think it's going to be on the back of some pretty pivotal clutch plays from Solurs.
You've seen that man reign terror, whether it was Optic Gaming, NRG, a Quarantine. It didn't matter what jersey he had on his back. He was a slaying powerhouse. You take TJ away from that UIU roster that kind of underperformed in some rights, but TJ, he took what he learned. He put it all into his hyperbolic time chamber. He's been changing. On the other side of that coin, though, Rise coming out flat. I know I said it before, but they looking like flat soda you left out overnight. I don't want to drink that, and neither does anybody else. So my pick, I'm going to go strong with Hive. I think this is going to be a 2-0. I don't think we're going to get treated to another round number 9. You better get ready for the next match.
Better get ready for the next match. PR says, well, we're going to have to take a look at who the chat decided to pick. This one actually going to be close to me because you don't just see, it's not going to just be a waterfall in favor of one team or the other. I think it's going to be a very close vote this time. PR, you made me guess last time, so who do you think they're going with?
I got to think they're going with Hive. Usually when it's like split like that, I think chat just goes with the team that's just dominating, the team that makes it exciting, the team that really puts it on another team to really answer back. And Hive has just been destroying everybody so far in a lot of these series, a lot of these matches. So I got to think, hey, chat, you got to be as smart as I am or as dumb as I am. Who knows at this point? So hopefully we think alike, because I don't want my predictions to be wrong.
3 for 3 in Hive once again. We were all wrong in the first match, and if Rise wins, we all wrong in the second match. We can all look dumb. That's fine. I'm good with that. As long as we're looking stupid just like them, I'm good with being there.
I can't wait till chat takes first this year. Or this split.
Oh, they are, without a doubt. Look, we've already messed up too much. We're too far behind. Look, throw in the towel. I think my favorite thing I've seen somebody say in our little chat where we do our predictions, and I don't remember who said it, but they said these pros don't respect my pick.
That was me. They don't. These guys do not respect my pick. Because we're all fun and games right after winning. This is serious. I feel like us casters, as analysts, we do a really good job of predicting what should happen on paper. But with these changes, 4v4, players stepping up to the play, that paper has not only been thrown out the window, it's been trampled on, it's been put through the rain, thrown in the gutter with it. Man's been chewing on it for about a year, and now we got it back, and I can't read the paper anymore. That's what I think is happening this season.
We're out here like MTV's True Life. It's like you think you know, but you have no idea. That's literally what's happening to us right now. I know we're trying to load up into map number 1. We've got Rise and Hive, and I think one of the final things I want to throw at you is Hive has pretty much played perfect on the rotational side of things. I have yet to see them really be caught off guard when it comes to where they need to be on the map and when they need to be there. Do you think Rise has kind of the technical playbook to come at them in that way and really throw them off their game?
I do. I think Rise is still one of the best teams when it comes to strategy and depth in your strategy. I don't think Rise and a lot of their problems, a lot of their illnesses come from strategy. It comes to executing. It comes from being on the same page within these strategies. And then obviously, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but sometimes you're just hitting your shots and you're not. And a lot of these teams, when they're going against Rise, you can see these individual battles. They are winning these fights in 1 or 2 shots. Rise is not getting an opportunity to bounce back in a lot of these scenarios. Like I said, even though IC has been a huge part of what little success Rise has, IC isn't that slaying powerhouse. You can ask him, he's not going to be that freak of nature player that goes out there and gets a million eliminations. You almost look like a player at Rushiez, like I say time and time again. So Rushiez having less than 25% of the team's kills is, to me, a big problem, even though I'm not going to put it on one player. But if I have to point out one thing, I need to see the old Rushiez that I know and love.
Well, we're going to see if we can see the old Rushiez that you know and love here on to Training Grounds. Flash is out for both teams. There's going to be a 1v1 at the B Hill. That's not going to be waited on any longer. And it's going to be won by Hive already. And Hive is continuing to torch Rise over at the Overlook. It's going to be up to Icy to stay alive as long as he can. Shots over the cover, but he's going to be taken down in the 2v1 scenario. This is going to be up to Noey now to be the front line of defense. He's going to have a lot of Lancer shots out. TJ gets the one-shot kill. Beautiful job. Hive take round number 1 in 36 seconds.
Yeah, I'm almost scared. I need to see something out of under their sleeves early on from Rise. I need you go back in that trick of books and pull out some sort of a trick play early. They take that loss to elevate. You got to be angry. You got to be ready for revenge. And in that first round, I did not see revenge in their eyes. I saw a ranked match come out of Rise in that one, and almost on the state of Hive, but Hive won that ranked match.
We see Boltox down from both sides, and I think one of the things that Hive did perfect in that first round, I adored the fact that Noey is not afraid to take the 1v1 against Rushiez. He pushed up, he made Rushiez make a mistake, won the B hill, and allow him to rotate over and get that kill, which opened things up for the rest of Hive to kind of play how they wanted. Once again, I mean, Lancering, shots on, they are playing pretty much perfect teamwork. And they're just going to be trading out kills now. Rise will finally start to get a couple of kills to go their way here at the Overlook. That U fight. Solurs is going to go down in the 3v1, but Noey's 1B, which is going to prolong the round for now.
We're talking about for now, he's going to be on that home or that neutral hill, making his new home hill, and instantly you see his teammates spawn up. They're not running straight into their own home hill back. They realize they got to spread their numbers down. They got to think long haul on this one. Think bigger picture. How do we get our home hill back? Noey's overextending continuously in the heaven, but Rise, they're not faltering. They realize the defense on the home hill is going to be so important here on their success this round. TJ is going to go down early. A creep revive coming through, but the damage being put on Solurs. He should certainly be caught out of position, but he finds a way to stay alive, and Avexys dies. Fran leaves him out to dry, and Fran looking like he's stuck between a rock and a hard place himself.
Fran is going to try to rotate back. He's between 2 pillars, still getting Lancered out from the respawn. They're going to leave him on the ground. Solurs finally cleans him up to make sure he doesn't have anybody coming back to threaten him or bite him in the butt. Hive now pressuring across the 50-yard line. Rise will get their home hill back in their favor, but the point situation, it's definitely going to be in favor of Hive, and they just have to play some defense. Solurs over here at B. He's going to get Lancered out by Avexys, but not go down just yet. And this is where Rise's retake is going to come. They're going to throw 3 people through the Overlook, and they're going to challenge TJ. And TJ actually might back out a little bit, but he's actually going to get caught out. Hive give up that positioning, which is going to give Rise a 3v1 against INZEM at the home. They're going to over-rotate to A, but they've got to take that 2v1, and they got to take it quick.
Yep. Can't waste any time here. INZEM, though, is doing a perfect job buying so much time, but I might have spoke too soon. Noey goes down on the other side of the map. Talk about taking that 2v1. That's exactly what Avexys is going to do. Not the result that we thought to see, but the result that Rise and Rise fans are looking for. You look at Avexys wasting no time, realizing they can come back with 2, but they want to go ahead and pad that lead. Go ahead and get the break on this hill and play from there. Is looking at Avexys to stay alive. On the other side of the map, Rise is holding their ground on the home hill of Hive. Time is of the essence. It's not on the side of Hive. They need to make this push. They need to go now, but it's like shooting fish in a barrel. All 3 players sitting on the same cover.
Everybody's just mounted up. They're just going to try to wait for that next retake, that next push. Noey's going to go down. Franchis with a double kill there on Noey and Hive. And that, I mean, Noey and Solurs, and that's no small task. INZEM's going to go down. That's 3 out of 4 people dead. They needed a break. They needed a retake right there, but it will not come through. B is still capped up in favor of Hive, but it's just too little too late. They're not going to be able to do anything else. That's going to be that last kill that they need to come through. And Hive will lose round number 2. Rise will tie it up. And I mean, this is, for as many times as we had it slow down to a snail's pace in map number 1, this is just back and forth. These teams are not afraid to fight.
Yeah, I was talking about Rise. One of those teams that kind of banks on a lot of their strategy, a lot of looking at the bigger picture for some of these exchanges. Off of that initial was a huge, massive victory for them to not only take the initial, but play aggressively every step of the way from there on out. You saw even Avexys in a 1v2 situation find a way to come out on top. And if you're Hive, you can't be losing those 1v2 situations, regardless of what happens to your team on the other side of the map. And you already see the quick retro upgrade from both teams, about standard when it comes to the weapon selection screen.
Beautiful gun there, placed down by both sides. I know I'll give mine a couple of pats here in a second just to make sure it knows I still love it. That retro knows it's right by my side in case anybody tries to test me. Here, though, both teams are going to give it up in the initial. They'll pick it up off the respawn, depending upon whether or not they win this initial. And it looks like Rise is going to back up just a little bit. They know that Noey has continued to challenge over against Rushiez at the B hill. They've lost it already, so the point lead will go in favor of Hive once again. And Hive just need to not give up this positioning they had like they did last round. You saw where they backed out on TJ. They left him in a 3v1. They didn't over-rotate quick enough, but it just came back to bite him in the butt. TJ up top, he's going to hold this overlook now. He's got teammates with him. They're going to try to play defense on this side of the map. Right now, it's looking like it's standing up for a hot minute. This is going well for them. If I'm the defensive team, I like the fact that this is getting prolonged.
Ooh, quick down from across the map. That's going to be a huge opportunity from Rushiez with that Lancer to get the down along with the rest of his team. Noey trying to step up, trying to take inch by inch. As his team loses the other side of the map, he has to be ready with a contingency plan. And right now, going up against Rushiez, he gets taken out, and that contingency plan goes out the window. Now it's all up to INZEM to not only keep this one going, but get eliminations. He gets downed out by the retro. Now it's going to be TJ's turn, one of the MVPs of this roster. He does get that exchange. He takes out Avexys. That was a big victory for TJ and the rest of Hive.
TJ and Hive, they're going to try to spring back into action here. They get their home hill back. They're still up in the points based on how long that secondary fight went when they were trying to get the retake for Rise. They're going to have 2 players over here at the B hill. They're going to have the easy decap. They've just got to be careful because they've got to go to the backside of that pillar. Noey's going to go down, and I don't believe INZEM's in a position to either revive him or stop him from getting killed off. So the decap will come through. It's 4v3 in favor of Rise right now, and Rise will get that B hill back into their favor. Hive, they have to be picture perfect in this retake. TJ with the flash. He's got Solurs to his left. They have to try to flash out Icy and Fran at the same time, and I think the push has to come toward Icy. Icy with the quick pick pull of the Nasher, and it looks like a little miscommunication. TJ's back there at the back of the U by himself for just a little too long. Icy, though, oh my God, calm, cool, and collected. Triple kill city coming at you. My God, that's big time for Icy. That is the kind of man that everybody's been asking for, and Icy comes through for his squad in the nick of time.
Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on Rushiez to get these eliminations, especially when he has a teammate like Icy behind him, ready to go off at a moment's notice. Trying to complete a little bit of a comeback here after losing their first series of the day against Elevate Rise. 2-1 here in this one. It's about even, but that death's right there on the side of Icy. 3 rounds so far, only 1 death. You got to think it might have came in that loss of a round early on. So coming into this one, the weapon selection does look like both teams hovering that retro, either to have it to 60 seconds like we saw early on today, or to choose kind of the standard, the base of upgrade towards a shock. What do you think?
It's definitely, we already see the shock get
Yeah.
placed down. I mean, by the time we even get to ask the question, Rise, they didn't need to think about it, but so long. Hive doesn't look like they need to think about it either. They're going to go ahead and go with the shock. And I'm not really mad at them for upgrading to the shock. I think it's just one of those things that the area of denial, if a power weapon gets placed into you, it's just too important to have later down the road. So this is right now setting up to be just basically same old, same old. Flashes over the top of the back of you. Now the L trigger's out from INZEM. INZEM has to be careful, though, because they're finding the angles on him. That's 2 downs, and Hive, they're going to have to pull back. They've lost somebody, and Noey is torturing. Somebody help Rushiez.
Oh, no.
You're winning the fight on the U side of the map, but poor Rushiez is going to come away from training grounds never to want to play it again, and it might even tilt him going forward in this matchup, which is not a good thing.
Hopefully you lock your doors tonight, Colin. Rushiez hears that one. He going straight to you. It doesn't matter how many acres you have. You can't hide from him, and you can't hide from Noey either. As he takes out Franchis, he actually did get that second kill on Avexys. That was a big trade coming through, but Solurs fighting for his team's life. He falls, and so does Hive in this round. You're talking about Rushiez getting taken out as Hive lose yet another round here in this matchup. 3 consecutive rounds going on over to Rise. So Rushiez, he might be a little bit of bait in this matchup. Hey, go ahead and take Rushiez out. The rest of it will triple cap you in no time.
I mean, and that might be all that it is. I hate to see somebody get left on an island when clearly the island is giving them sunburn. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to leave that man on an island. He's not just full red, my man is crispy over there. But look, if they're winning rounds, at the end of the day, winning cures all. So I'm sure Rushiez can't be but so frustrated with the way his life is going, as long as they're continuing to win these rounds. But now it's a completely different song and dance. Now everything will be focused over at the E hill. So both teams are going to have all 4 players over there. It's going to be an 8-man push toward that mid-neutral hill. Fran is going to be first to the top side of the overlook.
Don't read it. Don't read it. Don't read it. Let's just keep going, Colin. Let's let him live for this one.
Okay.
As both teams.
Let me ask you this: does Franchis getting to top overlook surprise anybody? Because didn't he innovate getting to top reclaim, top bowl on reclaim so much that he forced mental to change to default it?
He is. You might as well call Fran Lewis and Clark. He's a pioneer, setting the roots, paving the way for us all. But Noey, man, Noey's been the tale of Hive's recent success, or at least in portions of it, just taking over game after game, making multiple enemies come after him, making multiple players worry. Now Solurs is going to continue to hold his ground. He's not threatening with the capture just yet, realizing no points are being gained for Rise. So even though this may not be the fast victory that they want, it's a slow but sure victory. But INZEM getting taken out. Solurs is going to fall. Nobody else from Hive in position to get these revives, as Fran trying to find a way, sneak his way through the center of the map. He gets caught out, but the numbers from Rise are just too much. But no, Rushiez somehow gets down again.
Rushiez is going to be down. TJ's going to not be able to clean that kill up yet. I believe they're going to get the quick revive off on him. Yeah, Rushiez is still alive. He's up top. TJ stuck right here on this overlook. He's going to go for that back A, but he has to back out now. And they're going to try to reset this fight down toward the U. Shots over the cover, get a couple of downs. Not going to be able to clean up a kill. Rushiez flies in. There's the kills that we need to see from him. He's going to start getting comfortable. He's going to start finding his way around the map. And he's actually chasing down Noey now. Noey with a misroll from cover to cover. He's going to get shot on and taken down, which is going to give Rise back the 2-1 hill advantage. Hive, they're going to have to play from behind yet again here in round number 5. They're already down 3-1, and it's looking like they're going to be staring down a 4-1 very quickly.
Yep. Just so you guys know, even though Hive does have a little bit of lead here, that 2-0 advantage Colin's talking about is what's going to give Rise the lead. And from what we've seen so far, Rise sets up pretty well. They've been putting a stop to almost every aggressive retake coming through from Hive. Here comes another one, though, answering back in a moment. Tons of pre-fire. INZEM's going to go down before you know it. Noey takes a different move. He's going to meet the same fate, though. Everybody from Hive getting taken out but Solurs. The thing is, Rise doesn't even have to go and fight Solurs. Solurs, you're sitting there slowly losing the game, slowly letting Rise take the 4-1 lead. But honestly, you can't be in 2 places at once, but you need to win this exchange. You need to start this last second push for your team.
You're gonna have to fly, and I don't know about angels, but sometimes it is fear that gives men wings. And right now, Hive have to be afraid of going down 4-1, so they've got to have some speed behind them. Solurs doesn't even get the flash off, doesn't up A, and he's gonna bounce out toward Rushiez. Picture-perfect movement, but he's gonna eventually go down and be taken out. INZEM's gonna try his hand at a 2v1, but both of them getting cleaned up. And Rise right now, I said it before, when we saw the picks and bans, they are very comfortable on training grounds, and it's showing how comfortable they are. Even losing the mid-neutral hill throughout the first half, it's just like they did not even phase them going into those rounds.
I feel like I almost want to see, I was about to say, something play center line on the side of Hive towards underneath, the way Noey has been playing in his matchup. Obviously, strategies would change, but it's going to be Rise placing that big M-bar down. Typically, we've seen the sniper, but M-bar is going to be here in this case. On the other side, Hive upgrading that retro. They're gonna be one step ahead, but on this initial call, I don't think the retro is gonna be picked up. I don't think it's gonna be used. Everybody's gonna be fighting tooth and nail for that M-bar.
Well, this is one of those situations where the M-bar, it's not like a quick pick situation. You're not going to go in and try to just get it before your opponent does. This is a normal initial. Neither team is going to put somebody really in harm's way. They're just going to try to get these kills, and if they win the initial and they win the weapon, great, grand, fantastic. Avexys, though, he wants the initial. He wants the M-bar. We've already seen him use it to perfection in earlier matches, so I won't be surprised if Avexys is the one that picks it up. Indeed, he is. Rushiez, good for you, buddy. Good for you.
Avexys, man, just taking over that low push. And honestly, what a perfect person to give this M-bar to. Either him or Icy, but the way Icy's been playing with the shotgun, I like giving this one on over to Avexys. Hit him once, let Icy clean that one up. And Rushiez should be running together as sort of a duo as well, but it's going to be Icy and Rushiez kind of paired together, the low half of the map playing defense. Rushiez needs to be careful. Watching the back of Avexys, that is going to be key here as he tries to foot towards down low. They finally spot him out. He's going to have to readjust here in just a few moments, but this is where it's going to be interesting. He actually falls back, repositions himself along that U side, knowing where the push is going to come through. If Hive break this hill and capture it, they're going to be the ones in position to gain the lead.
He rolls back, but he goes down. They're going to be able to clean him up here momentarily. Noey full red has to be very careful. 4v3 effective on the map. Noey has to find the second player from Rise to be able to attack, but Fran is up there up top in that heaven position, just lancering out. They get the down on Rushiez's backside of the U. They have one more player over here to contend with. They're going to chase him out just a little bit. I'm not sure how much you continue to chase because the respawns are coming out for Rise. INZEM downs Noey, but gets the quick revive off onto him. So the 2-to-1 hill advantage is now in favor of Hive. The win condition is also flipped that way. So I think they need to hold this and then try to find the proper opening to maybe get 1 or 2 more kills and put this round to bed.
Yeah, the thing is right now, Rise has almost all the time in the world. In gears, 50 seconds at the top of your screen is plenty of time. They're going to be trying to spot people out, figure out where the information is at, force players to go back. I do believe that's going to be a 1v1 towards the top half of the map. So either team fighting towards the top half need to be careful from that cross from the heavens above from both TJ and Avexys. But this is where it's going to be interesting. TJ in the 1v1 scenario, is that where you would place him in a big round like this?
I think you have to place your eggs in the basket that's paid off for you. And Noey's won a lot of 1v1s. Hive has won a lot of 1v1s. Rise has been winning the team fights, which is where you need to try to avoid. You can't let Rise continue to get the fights that they want. And Hive, they give Rise all the fights that they choose yet again. They get wiped away off the map. And that is a 5-to-1, not necessarily a queen sweep. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not a clean sweep, but it is 5-to-1 in favor of Rise. They win map number 1 on training grounds, and that's the start they need because coming off that loss to Elevate, they've got to already be pissed. You can't go 0-2 on your day. You only get 1 shot at each of these teams. And this is a statement victory because Hive has been kind of the talk of the town, the cream of the crop, the belle of the ball for the past couple of weeks.
And I will say, though, this is a map that you can kind of see them having a hard time with. I admit I was wrong. I didn't think this one was going to be close. I thought it was going to be 2-0 with how Hive was playing, not only on our Pro League, but our E-Days as well. But one of the biggest weaknesses I think Rise really took advantage of there is spreading the map out, forcing players to rotate, forcing that Lancer style of play. So even though Noey was making big plays on Rushiez, winning some rounds and some of those exchanges. As soon as the map became wide out and spread open, you saw Rise completely take over each and every one of those rounds in most of those scenarios. But moving on over to map number 2, which I do believe might be Vasgar, it closes everything up. It makes it to where it's a rotation team-based map. Yes, you can use some shotty. Yes, you can use some pistol, but the underlying factor is winning those shotgun fights, whether if it's a 1v1 or a team fight overall.
I think one of the things that I like, I'm going to use this analogy. I know a lot of people might not agree with it, but it's kind of like a classic football team analogy. Hive likes to play man-up defense. That means they've got one corner on each wide receiver. They're going to play man-up. They want to use the talent of their corners to shut you down, not give up any angles, not give up any lanes. Rise right there said, that's fine. We're going to basically run pick plays. We're going to get our receivers close enough to each other that you might bump into one another. You might not sure who's getting shot at. And it gives us a chance and a little opening to try to complete some passes, get some shots downfield. And that basically boils down to Rise getting into the right positions to be able to lancer for each other, be able to put damage on multiple members of Hive, keeping them unaware of both their situation and their health, getting a lot of those downs, executing a lot of those kills. It boils down to me I think Rise just had a much better game plan on training grounds than Hive, and we're going to have to see if Hive can kind of mix things up, if they can create the chaos that might be the Achilles heel for Rise in map number 2.
And it talked about players to watch out for. On the side of Rise, both Icy and Franchis went off. I think Franchis dropping like 19 downs for the team. On the other side, Icy might have dropped 15 and 15. You saw big plays coming through as Rise 5-1 over a Hive. And like I said, when it comes down to that one, they did a good job, like I said, of spreading out the map, using their team play, using cross angles. And in those situations that they did have to push, they pushed 3 players over and wasted exactly no time. On the side of Hive, I didn't see as big weapons get placed down early on like I thought. I almost wanted to see something get placed in the middle to kind of force that Noey altercation against anybody on Rise at that point. Didn't see it come through. So when I'm looking at Vasgar, we know we're going to see those bolt-talk pistols on the side. We know we're going to see it build up to possibly a retro or a hammer burst, but I want to know if this gets out of hand and it starts being Lancer Fest in favor of Rise, is Hive going to put that big weapon down? We've seen it as a sniper before, but I want to see that drop shot and boom shot appear itself.
Well, Hive is going to be playing the swarm side of the map. So in the second half, they're definitely going to have that power position more often than not, where they can play the top part, that top home hill, and they can play through the tank. So that power weapon of the tank is a definitive possibility, if you ask me. The helicopter spawn might become negligible in the second half, because we all know that since Hive played Cog in map 1, they're going to end up playing Swarm in map 2. So they'll have that advantage. They'll have that positioning advantage. So I don't know if we're going to necessarily get to see a Lancer fight, but I do believe we're going to see probably Hive throw down a power weapon at the tank to try to really start to get these engagements to be much closer to one another, much more about shotguns, and try to take that I don't want to say crutch, but I mean probably the biggest help to Rise being that Lancer.
Yeah, and that would almost kind of nullify it. Like I said, the props that I gave to Franchis, almost 20 downs. If you don't let Rise use the Lancer, it's going to have to force them to slay out. And you can kind of see it on the side of the slaying. They're not slaying together as a full unit on the side of Rise. And you saw it in the past, not necessarily in this matchup on the side of Hive. When they slay out, they slay together. It might be one person getting a lot of the kills, but they travel in packs of 3. And that one person playing by themselves, he's not far off. He's just making sure nobody slips by on the side of Hive. And I kind of need to see that in order to kind of put my faith in them. Otherwise, when I look at my power rankings going into next week, I might have to add some inconsistency notes over to this Hive roster. Maybe they won't be number 1. Maybe they will. Who knows?
I mean, that's one of the things that we always have to try to keep. We always have to keep in the back of our head is Hive has historically underwhelmed for their talent. I mean, we've talked about it time and time again. It's kind of their storyboard. They're super talented. They're super good, godlike young shotgun players. But where's the consistency? You can make a highlight, you can win a map, but you're not winning matches, you're not winning these fights. And through these first few weeks, Hive has shown that consistency. They've got to remember that winning formula, and if it's not necessarily just taking the fights man up and they can't get those fights that way, this is what I talk about, where I'm tired of seeing teams just go quid pro quo, staying with the status quo. That's saying, if you drop this, I'll put this down. If you go here, I'll go there. If you want to go 2-2, I'll go 2-2. Be a little bold.
Yep.
Throw some wrinkles that your opponents might not be able to see coming. Try to create the chaos. I know that a lot of people might think that it's idiotic. It might be dumb, but when you're down 3-1, the only thing that looks dumb is the fact that you keep beating your head against the wall trying to win that same fight every single round. I think what Hive should have done in that last matchup, instead of throwing like they can throw the long shot all they want, throw all 4 people there prior to the second half. If Noey's been torturing Rushiez, forget about him. Let Rushiez do whatever he wants over there at B, because he's clearly not been a threat to Noey in the 1v1 all day. Yeah, he's winning it, but if you're losing 3 people to 1 person, I ain't that great at math. I ain't that smart, as we've been able to hear all night, but 3 still seems a little bit bigger than 1. So go over, help the rest of your team overload that sign and destroy him and just torch him out of there and get the U under your belt. I think that's one of the things that we need to start seeing teams do. 4v4 is not the same animal as 5v5. Never has been, never will be. No more safety blankets. Put a little bit of risk and try to get a lot more reward out of your gameplay. Stop being so afraid to try to change things up.
And honestly, you can kind of see it, just to add on to that point that you said, throughout E-League, and more so now than before, these aggressive teams, these teams that are in your face, that are causing a lot of the action, they're usually winning a higher percentage of rounds, a higher percentage of these matches and matchups overall. And to me, that says, yeah, you have to wait and you have to be patient in certain moments to gather the information, but you can't wait for that moment to go ahead and come around, because more times than not, it will not come around. You have to create that perfect moment. You have to, in strategy, in your practice, or heck, maybe you have a fantastic IGL that can place the chess pieces where he wants to go ahead and push, and maybe it's something, a hat trick, a trick up your sleeve, something like that. And that's exactly what I want to see more of these teams do. Realize your defeat in some areas and figure out how to pull yourself out of it in others.
Right here, we see Rise is gone with the mid-neutral on the home split. 2-2 on the map. Everybody's settled up. Noey is down. There's the flashes out by both teams. Avexys is going to push up. Lancer out. Rushiez is right there with him. Noey's going to try to push up. There's a trade out. Now it's a 1v1. You can see the Lancer fire help from the middle of the map, though, is going to help get that second down onto Avexys. And now it's going to be up to Icy and I believe Fran to play defense over here at the B hill. Meanwhile, the respawns of Rise, they're going to come off and actually rotate over to the middle of the map, even rotate over to that tank.
They realize it's a smart decision, because Hive is probably guessing you got to rotate back to try to get your home hill. Let's attack the neutral while you know you're going to have a man up, but Rise immediately sends people over for defense. We can go ahead and take our home back later once we solidify this one, as Rushiez pushes up. Franchis gets a nice trade to come through, but nobody from Hive able to break through. But they're fine with this situation. So even though I'm giving Rise a little bit of props for going ahead and knowing which hill they're going to attack, on the other side of the map, you have to start making moves. Otherwise, Hive is slowly but surely going to win this by points.
Hive is just going to continue to try to trade out different hills, try to take advantage of the spots and the spawns. 3v1 over here, and you're going to see the one player they left from the opposite side of the map, INZEM, is going to be by himself at the home hill. He's going to rotate back. Avexys is outside of that home hill. Nobody's gone in for the break. There they go. They finally move in. That's going to be Icy going in for the break. They got it. They're going to rotate in, try to get that 2-to-1 hill cap. Rushiez off of respawn will have some free shots, but I mean, just the angles that Hive has right now, until Fran says, let me just slide into your cover and hit you with a big old back game. My man's been using a back game since probably, what, 2007, 2008 in that area?
Gotta hurry up and get this break, though. Nice elimination on Rushiez. He needed to stay alive there. These are those situations where staying alive matters so much. Your reinforcements are there. This would have been a 3v2 situation on the other side of the map. All hills being decapped. Hive and Rise will both capture one hill apiece, but the sandwich is coming through. These players need to watch out. Avexys falls first. I gotta think that another player in Franchis is in a very, very similar situation. Luckily, he lives to fight back, but fighting back they need to do sooner rather than later. This is getting out of hand on the side of Hive. Not only have they come back, but to solidify themselves a lead, Fran falls to INZEM. That is not good this late into the game.
Brand's gonna go down. That's gonna take the IGL away. The chaos is there. Avexys is trying to shoot over the cover. You see the slot in from Rushiez. He's gonna get taken out by Solurs. Another good L trigger out. We'll get that kill. That'll solidify the A hill. And ladies and gentlemen, one way or the other, Hive created enough chaos, and that's what we talked about in the pregame. That's what they needed to do to be able to come back into this, and they win round number 1 on the backs of some beautiful rotations and a lot of good gunfights, really forcing the hand of Rise in multiple occasions of that round number 1.
And this is where it does get dangerous. You can stick to the base strategy. We always talk about a map like this. Bolt talk pistols on the side. You get ready for that INZEM or shock, whatever your strategy is. But on the side of Rise, what do you got to do? Because you kind of know you're going to place that bolt talk down to spread out these fights. You already saw most of those exchanges go over to Hive, whether they would lose one hill, rotate around the other, and convincingly keep 2 under their control. What does Rise have to do here?
I think it's going to come down to getting the incendiaries, the shocks on the map. You got to get that AoE damage out. You got to prevent them from being able to rotate through the lanes that they might want to, or just push straight through. I know that they go away after a few moments and that you're able to push right back on through with it, but maybe you delay one half of or one of the heads of the Hydra from Hive, and you stop the worker bees dead in their tracks so that you can kill off the queen and destroy the rest of the Hive all at once. I think that's what Rise needs to go with. They need to go with the way their lane priority. You can see it right now. They're trying to Lancer out, trying to put pressure onto Hive to make the right retake move anyway.
Hive once again in control. Nice shots being thrown out by Avexys, but need consecutive shots in this situation to be able to push forward and get the down. Not a lot of cover. Both Rushiez and Avexys can share. It does look like the aggression is being put on them. Quick kill from Rushiez to take out INZEM, so the tables have turned here in this situation. TJ goes down as well. This is finally looking good for Rise as they open up, getting 2 hills under their control, and they aggressively set up, knowing, hey, we can't go for the hill just yet, but we can make Hive fight for every inch on the map.
And that's what they have to do. I mean, that's the lane priority that's forcing them into the Lancer fire that they made them do on training grounds. And you cannot continue to give Hive every fight that they want. You can't let them have the CQC. Noey, you see him getting Lancer down. He has to rotate back. Here comes 2 people down to the luggage area. Avexys will get 1, but he's going to get traded out for very quickly. You see them pressing forward. INZEM trying to catch up to, I believe that's Rushiez now. Actually going to get a free decap, I believe, on the home of Rise. It's going to be boiling down to this B hill. Can Noey get either of these kills in the 2v1? He cannot right now. He'll go down, which will keep the mid-neutral in favor of Rise. Now Rise just has to rotate and try to take back either their home or go for the home of Hive. Either way, they can pick their poison, take their fight as they wish.
Oh my God, Franchis trying to catch somebody off guard. He gets caught out though, so it looked like a nice advantage for Rise. Just the tables have completely turned. They're not even to break this hill, but they're going for this fight first. They're gonna put them in position to get the hill, but they lose the fight. Rushiez goes down, Avexys gets taken out. This late in the game, it's not looking good, and that's gonna be both Franchis and Icy forced to sit and wait. They give a plan. The IGL himself has it odds stacked up against them, but that's why you put yourself in this situation. That's why historically you're one of the best IGLs, because you can think of plans to bring your team back into this one.
They're trying to fly off and get back into the C hill, which they do. Flashes out, they push in, they stay on the covers, but INZEM waiting in the wings. Avexys goes for the up A, misses it out. Snub out in hand of INZEM. INZEM now, he's going to stand in the hill. He knows that his team has won it. No reason to challenge up and give another death up to Rushiez. He's going to go ahead and solidify that 2-0 round count in map number 2. And Hive now has twice done a fantastic job of keeping Rise guessing, if you ask me. I mean, that's just one of those things that you can't really teach. The way that Hive is able to get into the spots on the map, force them to make a decision, and before they know it, I mean, they think they have somebody trapped like a rat, and you saw it right there. Fran gets called out, he gets picked off. The whole plan falls to the wayside. Every plan is perfect until you get punched in the mouth.
So if you're on the side of Rise, when do you throw that weapon down? When do you throw a wrench in the gear? Or do you kind of chalk those up to little moments that lost you the game, and you're hoping your micro adjustments within each round or these weapon selection screen is going to be enough to kind of bounce back? You see Avexys picking up that retro early. I don't think anybody on Hive picked up that retro. That's interesting.
Not anybody yet. They're going to come back off of respawn with it, I believe. Yeah, nobody on the side of Hive has picked up the retro. Meanwhile, there's going to be a 1v1 at the B hill, 3v3 here at the home hill. And Rise does have the retro to use. 1v1 about to break out. The flash comes through, and Fran absolutely plays TJ. I mean, 2 perfect shots, quick kill, and Fran is actually going for the full flank. He's just flying through the map. He's going to be right outside the spawn of TJ. If TJ comes off a spawn, Fran's pretty much stuck in no man's lane, and here comes the retake, and they get the down just in time to really keep the numbers advantage in favor of Rise. This is going to be a very precarious position for Hive, as you see them trying to fly off and get any other kills. Icy, though, playing a little defensively right there, gets hit with the full spread, not able to get the down on the INZEM. INZEM's gonna turn, burn, get the kill, and now they will attempt to take the hill. Avexys off a respawn. He'll try to put Lancer shots down range. Not enough though to get any kills. Rushiez does what Rushiez does best. My man comes out of nowhere, finds himself 2, and says, boys, you can hop up on the backpack anytime you'd like. I'm feeling myself now. I found it, I figured it out.
And those are the situations right there. You got to know when to back off, when to keep going, when to aggressively set up, when to fall all the way back. Those are one of those setups. That break was it was a massive victory. You're getting yourself back into this one. But with those deaths, tables have turned for just a short moment. But Rushiez gets left out to dry. Franchis and Avexys fall as well. So almost giving Rise props for being able to battle back. But I may have cursed them in the end, as Hive not only get 3 eliminations, they're pressing forward. They want this triple cap domination, and it looks like they might get it by getting that elimination on Icy. Great stun by Rushiez, though, battling back, able to get the trade, but he finds himself on respawn all the same. Big meat shield here to put himself between Franchis and the victory, and Hive wins their 3rd consecutive round, and the tables have turned once close quarters combat has been involved.
I mean, this is exactly what Hive needed. This is what the doctor ordered, and right now, the doctor might be making Frankenstein. The monster has awoken, ladies and gentlemen. The lightning rod, it turned out to be Vasgar. It gave life back to Hive.
Like, he's alive. That's
right,
exactly.
baby.
But this is only map number 2. We saw a bit of a beatdown on map number 1. If you guys didn't miss it, Rise did take training grounds 5-1. Only a little bit of resistance coming out of Hive from that one. And historically, I would even say Franchise's team have a slow start in map number 1. Maybe things have changed. You're having a slow start here in map number 2, but finally that big weapon is being placed down. I thought it was going to be Hive if they fell behind, but Rise needs to figure out a way to force a team fight. Putting that big weapon down, you're almost forced to send multiple members there, 3, sometimes 4. So it is going to be a huge advantage for Rise on this initial fight for the power weapon.
They are going to hop and drop. Rushiez now going into the B hill, trying to get the Lancer angle there on a TJ. Quick, easy Lancer out. And that's some of the things that we see Hive do that not a lot of other teams, or we see Rise do that not a lot of other teams do. And it makes me really happy for Rise, and it makes me like that team chemistry. You notice a lot of teams out of respawn, no matter what weapon's on the ground, they still bring flashes to every fight, all 4 players. Rise saw that the long shot was down. They dropped the smoke. It opened up the area for Rushiez to drop in and go for the Lancer angle to get that initial down and get that initial kill.
That was great heads-up play there. And that's honestly, that's honestly what really separates some of these upper echelon players, thinking outside of the box and not sticking to your norm, messing the game. This is what I really talk about. If you introduce something new, makes you release it to some of these high players, high caliber players. They will break the game beyond belief. They will fix it the same way, but Noey making some big plays, pushing 2 members back, unable to get the break, but he gets the reinforcements needed, but it does look like they're outmatched here. A 3v2, players are forced back, nobody getting down just yet. On the other side of the map, they take out Icy, and they solidify that hill, so even though TJ did fall, Noey has to find a way to stay alive. Wait for TJ to come off of respawn. You will get the help, you just need to hold on.
You see Noey trying to bounce around, trying to get one more shot there on, I believe, Avexys, but here comes Fran. Fran's going to try to bound up here at the luggage, press up onto the A hill, but the shots over the cover, gets the down, and the back end gets Avexys. Noey has one more in his face. It's going to be Rushiez. He's getting shot in the back. The shot punch, though, for Rushiez, just a little too much. The trade, though, is 3-1 in favor of Hive. Picture perfect setup for them, and Noey went absolutely massive in that situation.
I can't believe those opportunities. This is the opportunities that really you slip by and kind of proves why there is a 3-1 lead on favor of Hive. Now they get a huge amount of pre-damage out. Nobody able to even touch that cover safely. And look at INZEM toying with his food and Franchise, knowing he has a little bit of backup in Solurs. Takes some extra damage shot, making Franchise overstay is welcome. He goes down as well. Nobody's in position. And oh my God, Colin, he's giving a little bit of love hump right there to show him who's boss.
Sometimes you gotta try to get into the head of your opponent. Hive taking their time to do it here on map number 2. Like you said, a bit of a beatdown. We saw the weakness of Hive in those rotational battles, the Lancer angles. They lose map number 1, 5-1, but it looks like they might be on the way to getting a 5-0 victory in map number 2. They are 1 round away from taking us to our second map 3 of the night. And Rise fans cannot be happy with what they have witnessed here in the last couple of rounds.
And I want to take a note of TJ. In the past, we look at him to kind of carry the team in terms of sling, be the tip of the spear, open up opportunities for your squad. He's kind of showing he's a man of many different avenues, a jack of all trades. He can do almost anything for his team. He's not high in the slaying category, Colin, but he is destroying his opposition, supporting almost every one of these altercations, whether it's Noey or the full roster of Hive. He's there when they need him most. But here goes another initial going down towards this M-bar, where you see the neutral fight does go down. It's going to be Hive kind of giving this one up early.
Well, Hive is going to back off here. They're going to allow for the power weapon position to be taken over by Rise. They might be trying to go for the bait and switch, but the triple Lancer fire just ungodly strong right now. And Solurs is actually trying to trap those players of Rise, force them forward, force them into his own Lancer. Not going to be able to get anything yet. The up A comes out. Fran will catch TJ with a full spread. They take a second shot to get the down. Meanwhile, you see over at the home hill of Rise, Noey is stuck over there, got the decap. Solurs, Solurs needed to live just a moment longer. Avexys misrolls directly into him, but thanks to the extra shots from Icy, he survives to thrive another day. Now you see Rise will go back to their home and the mid-neutral hill. Will get the 2-1 hill cap and be able to set up once again. And this is where they've been dangerous in the past couple of in the last map, excuse me, and in the rounds that they've started to win that they haven't come through with yet. This is where they're dangerous in the setup game.
Yep. Look at the rest of Rise though. 2 players looking like they're gonna hold defense on that hill. The rest of the team rotating around, trying to take a 2v1 scenario, but that's gonna be INZEM backtracking, making sure Solurs has the necessary help. But Solurs gets taken out by Rushiez, a player from Rise. We were looking to step up to the cause. And that's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to be able to turn the tide, put the pressure back on to Rise. Yes, they have 20 points to overcome, but that was short-lived here in just a moment. And if you look towards the bottom half of the map, that bottom left, 2v2 going down just again. Rotations coming through. Solurs take quick work of Franchise, leaving Rushiez in a 1v2 situation. Rushiez needs to go massive here, whether he's buying time or get eliminations, and he's going to get neither. So as quick as Rise was doing a good job, the tables have instantly turned back on over to Hive.
See Hive trying to continue to push into this triple cap domination. Icy's going to get a shot there, which will get them that E hill. So the triple cap domination will not come through, as well as Fran having sway over the F hill. 2 members of Hive are down. They have the point lead for a moment. It will go back to Rise once they get these 2-1 hill advantage. Icy trying to use that M-bar to get a shot there onto Solurs. There's the mark out long range across the map. No scope for him to use, but I'm pretty sure Icy is still just as deadly as ever with the M-bar. INZEM trying to just hug that tank. He gets one. He goes down. Fran gets down by the Lancer fire. Now Icy's left in a 3v1, ladies and gentlemen. There's the help over the top, and there's the 2 right in front. Trying to rev the M-bar. Won't be able to find anybody. He's going to go down. F-hill decapped. Point differential in favor of Hive. They will get the second hill, which will continue to mount up the points for them. Noey gets down. I believe there's a shock directly on Noey as well, if he's going to bleed himself out. The M-bar was dropped by Icy. That could be a huge miscalculation as well. This is easy pickings for INZEM if anybody comes to that smoke.
Got Icy's old M-bar. He got a new M-bar. He's sitting pretty with a ton of ammo, a huge lead, and no reason to push forward as he lands the kill blow on Rushiez. And that is going to be the final nail in the coffin for map number 2 as Hive bounce back in dominating fashion to take a 5-0 victory and force a map number 3.
What an answer by Hive, and what a second map by Hive. I mean, every single fight they took, they won. It seemed like they were begging Rise to be into those engagements. INZEM, your MVP for map number 2 as well. Take a bow, my friend. We see everybody for Hive, picture perfect performance, but INZEM, 14 kills, 12 assists, absolutely outstanding. Can they keep it up for map number 3? We're gonna find out right after this. And it's picture perfect as Rise played in map number 1, netting them a 5-1 victory. I mean, the only way I could physically describe it, the voice of God gave me the idea, absolute dog water in map number 2. 5-0'd by Hive in map number 2. It was just a beatdown in all instances. You're getting to see, this is probably my favorite play of the map. He gets the down on Fran, and I don't know if he aimed the shot that way. I don't know. I'm not a genius, but there's a part of me that feels like he aimed it to make sure he got the shot to land on Rushiez.
And don't forget, man, don't forget that this is a revenge matchup as well. This is INZEM going up against his former roster. If you guys have been living under a rock, hiding behind a house, I don't know where you've been. INZEM is getting his revenge. Map number 1 may not have been the case, but after that 5-0 complete and utter domination over, you got to think he's just living on an all-time high right here, going into map number 3, Harbor. I want to see which one of these teams have what it takes to really separate the map with weapon selection. I think the favor goes over to Hive if they want to put something big up top, but if Rise really wants to put a wrench into the mix, I think something needs to go down center line at the bottom and not allow this to become a slugfest against a team you just got dominated by.
1-1, and you can see how the maps played out. We are going to a map number 3, though, and one of the things that I think has to kind of be taken into account is map 3s tonight. I mean, yes, our first matchup had a lot of back and forth. Our second match on the offstage had a lot of back and forth. But now we go to Harbor, and this plays out, in my opinion, a lot like Training Grounds can play out. If you're not careful, you're going to get extra lancered out. Hive has to continue, in my opinion, PR, to push the advantage, push the momentum at the wench, the stern, and make sure that they don't allow Rise to get setups. Am I right?
That's 100% what you got to do. But Rise actually doing something I thought Hive would do early on. Take control of that top portion of the map, use your numbers, and anybody contesting would be a huge shock and fight going down. I'm surprised Hive didn't want any of that noise, but they didn't get the stern, the lower portion of this one. INZEM's going to be able to set up to cross Rushiez down low if he gets daring, but being able to cross up top as well. So this is where it's going to become a stalemate for just a little bit, Colin. I got to ask you, what's really going to break the stalemate before I even get the question out? It's going to be Solurs being daring enough to push cross down low.
As Solurs said, I'm going to try to get into this hill. He's going to get immediately down, taken out. That's going to be Rushiez in the 1v against Solurs. Hey, you never know. Hive might remember map number 1 and just push straight in to just make the decision. Let's just send Noey down to B every single round from here on out and see how Rushiez likes that. I don't mean to make jokes. Oh my God, Noey, stop it.
Make a joke. Make a joke. No, all jokes aside, though. Rise is just completely dominating this one. Rush took one for the team. We'll take that one. Rush taking one for the team because as soon as he took that death, the rest of Rise was sitting there waiting in the shadows to avenge him. I know we have our jokes on Rushiez right now, but all of Rise striking first here on map number 3. And honestly, this is a good situation for Hive. If you're in this situation, you got to think when it comes down to what you can predict, it's going to be a bold talk being placed down low. You got to give it to Rushiez. Up top, you put that big weapon down early. That neutralizes the weapon advantage on a map like this.
Well, one of the things that I think we can also can look at in that first map is you see how they press up into the B hill. Solurs puts himself in a position where he can't really play it slow. He's either going to get lancered out from that winch position or he's going to get challenged there in the B, and there's no real way to hide or go. You're just stuck in that little neck-and-neck position. We come to the second round, Boltox are out. We're not going to see anybody push up with that. If nobody's going to really go for that, that's not really going to be the game changer we probably think it is. Solurs is going to, or excuse me, Rushiez and Solurs once again in the 1v1. A lot of flashes out. INZEM already down. Avexys answering back. Double kill of his own. As Avexys looks like he's waking up, man. This is the kind of guy that we all thought he could be way back in the day when he was, I believe, playing in those tournaments week in and week out and was always putting his team on his back. No matter what org or what brand he was under, he was always kind of a human highlight reel. He needs to be able to do that for this Rise team. I always try to look for him to be the tone setter for them. And right now, those double kills off rip on the winch, they're setting the tone, and hell and high water is going to be served out by Hive.
Yeah, Solurs staying in spawn. He's staying deep in spawn. I almost feel bad for Solurs at this point. That up top fight, 2 rounds in a row, probably less than 3 minutes total, has been just dominated by Rise. That puts so much pressure on that player down low, in this case, Solurs, in that 1v1 scenario. Do I fall back to try to protect my home hill? Do I push forward and try to extend this fight? But when you push forward, you have to be careful because there's players on that stern. In that situation for Rise, it was Avexys that can easily turn and put a ton of Lancer fire down. That's exactly why I wanted them to force that up top fight at stern early on and neutralize the weapon advantage. Now, yes, they can still do it, but that weapon advantage will go over to Rise if they choose to do that.
Hive can't fall to the side of Rise here in this winch fight. They've got to be able to counter Avexys, and it looks like the counter punch this time, Rise threw that wrinkle in there. They sent most of their forces up top. They've now already pushed across to the other side of the map, and you can see they're going to be able to cross out anybody from Hive that tries to bounce around and make a play. Solurs has finally won the B fight, but Solurs is going to immediately get pressed, and I don't even know if he's got the intel that he's getting crossed out from multiple locations. There's Icy helping down INZEM. Solurs, he's going to be caught in the B hill for just a moment. Franchis is there. Franchis is going to go down. That's a good little Lancer help over the top from somebody. I believe it must have been Noey. There's the down. You did see the down from Noey come through. 2-1 hill advantage in favor of Hive, but Avexys will still have the winch area. Now he's moved up to stern. He's right next to his teammate. They both are here. Icy, Avexys, they're going to hold the top positioning of this map, and they're going to give up winch, which should give the area should give up the B area to Rise sooner rather than later, because you can't really defend much from having to stay on your side of the map.
Yeah, you have to physically defend on the home hill or on the neutral of B if you're Hive. On the other side of things, though, Rise needs to be careful because the push for Hive can either be a split push up top and down low at the same time, or it could be a bold talk headshot as Solurs in this round takes out Rushiez yet again. So Rise having control of the map. They don't have control of the two hills. That's going to stay on over towards Hive. And now it's going to take a triple neutralization on the side of Rise in order to take over the rest of this round. And the possibility of that happening, I don't know from what I've seen so far.
We see Solurs trying to back down to the side of the map. He's going to try to get angles here onto Fran. Nobody is there to challenge up right now. You can't get a Lancer angle anywhere particularly good. INZEM's going to go down, which is going to open things up for Rise. Rise is going to push up. The revive comes through, but doesn't really help. You can see the downs. Now you see Noey trying to answer back. He needs another kill here. It looks like they got the down from somewhere else over top. Oh, with the up A from Noey gets the kill, which might net them this hill right back. And that should help wrap up the round. It's so far along in the round that you're going to get down to that 20-second marker. By the time you come off a respawn and mount back up, it's just going to be a difficult retake.
Yeah, I think it opened it up down low. You saw it early on. They were unable to really recover from when Rushiez died from that bull talk the second time around. Rise felt the pressure. The score got clicked up, and now they end up in this situation. Yeah, they won this neutral, and they're going to get the decap, but the round is still going to go over towards Hive. So Rushiez in those scenarios down low needs to be careful. That first death is kind of fine. It was a 1v1 that gives up the initial hill on over to Solurs. But when your team has control of up top, they come off of respawn, two players go down low to start to get ready to push, and you kind of die before the push happens. That's kind of setting your team up for failure, because then you saw from there the rest of Hive, they were never really down a man advantage. Even though there was a moment where Rise took control of the hill, they did not lose the fight overall on the side of Hive.
If you want to know how stalematey this map has become, if we can bring up the scoreboard for just a second and everybody at home, it's a stalemate in the idea that the only person on the side of Hive with caps is Solurs. It's literally mid-neutral hill or bust. That's what it's been for Hive. The one round that they've won and the 2 rounds they lost, they have tried to find a way to win that mid-neutral. And without it, they've definitely lost. The 1 round they win it, they come away with a victory. They're trying to pressure up to get at least 1 kill. They finally get it. They get a double down here. Fran's gonna go down as well. 3 dead for the side of Rise. The only person left alive is Rushiez. He has the Boltok in his hand. Beautiful first shot, but the up A from Noey. No fear. He said, look, you better hit me in the head. If you're gonna shoot me, you better kill me, my friend, because if you don't, I'm gonna make you pay. And now you see INZEM with the flank on the Icy. There's the meat shield. 2 or 3 more people from Rise gonna be coming off the spawn here momentarily. Staggered respawns come through. 1 player from Hive is playing back with a Lancer. Trades out, though, in favor of Rise. Noey, he is pushed up over aggression on Harbor. Has come back to bite so many teams in the butt, and this could very well come back to bite Hive in the end if they do not get off a respawn and get back into the defensive position.
Yeah, INZEM overstaying his welcome on the home hill. Talk about knowing the situation. That's a situation, especially with that meat shield. You go for another round of downs. You go for another round of slaying. You don't need to get that triple cap, especially when the score is heavily in your favor as well. So INZEM opening up the window of opportunity for Rise. Not only do they strike back quickly, they get the decap and the capture as well. Well-placed flash, though, could turn things on its side. Quick elimination on Icy. Just as fast as they regain control, it's taken right back from them. Rush is doing what he can to even it up. There's 3 kills apiece. 3v3 going down. TJ gets the retro as well. The cap not coming through it yet, but Hive doesn't necessarily need the cap. They need to make sure they stay alive down here. That's more important than the points right now because they have the lead by roughly 55, 60 points.
And that's all they really have to do. I like the call by Hive. They back up. They say, we're going to play defense. We're going to make sure that we can't get angled out as we try to go into the B hill. They back up. They've set up for defensive stands here. TJ has the retro, which I believe is probably the most important position on the map right now because he's going to be able to stop that next push where Rise looks like they're going to try to challenge a 2v1 at the home hill of Hive. And there it is. He gets 1 down. He's going to go for the quick reload. 19 more bullets, a 2nd down, or it had to be the 3rd down on Avexys because he just straight died. And a 1-hit winner there on Icy. I can hear that man from wherever he lives right now. I got 1 shot down.
That's one of those situations. It's almost like invisible damage, though. He did get hit with a couple of quick retro shots there that really set the tone. That's how that player from Hive knew he could play aggressive. But once again, another round where Rise is feeling the pressure. Rushiez not able to wait for his teammates, gets a little over aggressive. I talked about needing a triple neutralization. You need it now more than ever. You need a miracle play. Icy pushing forward. We've seen him go clutch on map number 1, but since then, him and the rest of Rise have certainly been quiet, and Icy gets taken out again. And there goes INZEM once more, showing them who's boss and showing no respect on over to the team who let him go.
I mean, that was just a little last second love touch, just trying to just continue to drive the knife into the kidneys of Rise, but it's still tied. It's not like Hive is up 4-0. Hive is just tied this up at 2-2. We come here to the halftime screen. You see shocks out for both squads. Both of them upgraded to those shocks. No more retros to worry about, so no more definitive stops to those extra pushes. And it really all, again, it just depends on kind of your pace of play and how you like to play certain scenarios. I'm still a big fan of the retro, especially what we just got to see TJ do with it. I mean, that was just glorious if you ask me. Meanwhile, fight breaking out at the winch and stern area. Noey again downs Icy, and I'm just like, my man's at the edge of the table right now. That table has 3 legs too, so I'm just telling you, it's probably wavering.
We're down low. You see neither player down low, and I don't want to switch to the fight, but look at the overhead map to where you can kind of see these players trying to mess with one another, trying to fake pushes, but they're also shooting up top with those Boltocs to try to catch these players off guard. Lots of damage being placed over to Avexys. The shock is going to catch him on the tail end, but he lives to fight another day, but tons of damage being dished out. Almost a team kill. Rushiez from down low, get that Boltok headshot onto INZEM. That's really going to turn the tide on the fight, but Noey, can he do it again? No, he cannot. He gets the trade though, which leaves this fight still in favor of Rise, but they need to answer back soon. They can't let this go into a 4v4 towards the top half. They have a 2v1, Colin. They need to go.
They have to fly. They have to make these moves happen. They have to try to keep Hive on the back foot. They get a lot of damage onto TJ. There's the up A and the kill from Avexys. Now they have the ability to retake the E-Hill. You can see player number 2, that's Noey with the nerdy angle there onto Avexys, getting that first down. They don't get the cap because of it, and Noey's just trying to continue to put out damage. This is that kind of poke damage range where you just back A around the corner, maybe L trigger once in a while, blind fire. You're just trying to keep their damage meter going. You don't want them to be able to reach in health and give them any kind of power position. And now Noey has the winch. He'll be able to have the 6 o'clock of anybody from Rise that tries to mount up and sit down on that positioning. But there's a headshot from INZEM with the Boltok, opening things back up. Here comes Fran. Fran with 1 back A. Sees INZEM. INZEM gets down from the side by, I believe, the Boltok of Icy. No, it's got to be Rushiez. So Icy must have just had Lancer out to help finish off that down and kill. Noey's still stuck at the winch area. Rise, they're going to have the E-Hill. They're going to have the point advantage. 2 shots in from Noey. Not going to be able to get the down just yet onto Icy. There it is finally, but I'm not sure if anybody has the ability to clean it up. Franchis is right there playing in his pocket. And if I'm Noey, I don't know if the hill's necessarily your best bet. Maybe you push down, help clean up these 2 kills. Now it gives you a 4v2 on the map, and you're able to push around. Solurs is having to take a fight against Rushiez. There's a down on Rush at the bottom of the map as well. And I think that's 3 dead, 4 dead.
I thought Avexys rage quit right now. We're not on match point though, but this one's heavily in favor of Hive in this position. Yes, Rise might have the lead, but they just won up top. They're threatening for a triple cap domination, so I just want to go ahead and point out, even though Avexys did lag out, I personally do not believe that changed the outcome of this round. We can all have our opinions, but you saw the fight clear as day. And Colin, Noey, picture perfect to stay alive in this situation. He not only stayed alive, he went up top and then he got the angle. He wasn't necessarily looking for the hill right away. He was making sure that those players on Stern were unable to escape. He realized his 2 teammates came off spawn. They pushed the winch. They had a flash grenade towards the backside as well. They weren't even able to answer back with any shots. There wasn't a hope in the side of Rise there on that exchange. So like I said, in my opinion, Colin, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, I don't think it changed too much of the outcome.
I don't know if it changes the outcome very much either, but they have come back to us, I believe, because of the disconnect. I'm not sure if they're resetting the lobby or what they're going to go with right now. We've got to wait on an answer from somebody involved with that matchup. But for now, I mean, I don't even get to go with story time at this point, PR. I'm not saying I'm pissed, but I'm angry.
Oh, Lord. I was ready to learn something new about Harbor, trying to figure out the Easter eggs. I know on Gears 4, you have that Easter egg of the Leviathan coming out of the water. Do we have anything like that on Harbor? I know we don't. I know we don't have a visualization of it. Colin, do we have any sort of animated Easter eggs on Harbor or any maps, if not on Harbor?
I haven't checked to even see if the Leviathan is on this harbor. I haven't had the chance to sit down in like a horde map or a versus map and go around and see if all of the old markers that you had to shoot are still there. A lot of cool stuff though on harbor. A lot of little like tidbits from the different parts of the campaign that you can actually see, kind of ties the world together. But look, enough about the lore of the game. We're not getting to fly around the map, that courtesy of our beautiful observers over there at UMG Gaming. Let's talk about what we've gotten to see. Well, let's talk about what we've seen for just a second, PR. I just want to know, this map has been pretty back and forth, and does it really just boil down to Hive being able to push the focus to a CQC fight?
Yeah, I think that this map really does play in the close quarters combat fight. And most teams send 3 up top. In certain cases, it's still like a 2-2 kind of split. But the thing is, you put a big weapon up top or not, there's high ground that you get. Whether you get the stern or all the way up top where the hill is located, you can fire down, you can go ahead and influence that fight. That is a 1v1 download, depending on where those players are situated and set up. You already saw it a few times already. So when I'm looking at this map and trying to figure out how it was going to go, I kind of hit the nail on the head early on when we were talking about the map selection screen during the predictions. A map like Harbor, I think, will get dominated by Hive unless Rise figures out a way to spread the map out. When you spread a map out, it's usually putting a big weapon kind of somewhere to where you have to facilitate 2 different avenues, both high ground or if that big weapon is down low. I think that is going to be the key for Rise's success. But they also have to start winning these shotgun exchanges. Time and time again, yes, you might see Avexys make a big play or Icy as well, but more times than not, when it comes down to shotgun play in 1v1 or team fight scenarios, it's being won by Hive. I wouldn't say 100% of the time or dominated by Hive, but in the most important scenarios, it's won by Hive. And that's how they were able to bounce back in the 2 most recent rounds.
Well, we're going to have to see how things come for the rest of this matchup. It is a 3-2 round count lead for the side of Hive right now against Rise here in map number 3. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to figure out what exactly happened and when we're going to get back to the action. But for now, we're going to throw it over to a quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gears Esports Pro League Day 2, Week 2, Phase 1. Hop, skip, and a jump, up, down, left, right, BA, BA. Don't even know the rest of that code, blood code from Mortal Kombat. Here you go.
Down, left, right, up, down, left. Nah, I feel you on that one. So if you guys are just tuning in, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, a little bit of a lag out. If you guys are just tuning in, these players are trying to get the score and the weapons directly how they should be. So obviously, it might mess with the stats just a little bit, but it's not going to mess with who truly...
Well, there's a swift 2-0. No, I'm just kidding. Up 2 rounds to none. They're resetting the game. They're trying to get the weapons and the spawns exactly how they were prior to the lag out. That's all we're really doing in this situation. So the rounds are not going to look the same on the scoreboard, but we know prior to the matchup, we know prior to the lag out that it was a 3-2 at the end of 5 rounds. So I'm pretty sure they're going to let Hive just win 3 rounds and then allow Rise to win the next 2, and we will start from that point going forward. So we're gonna probably have one more round of Hive. Just no, they're gonna let Rise win a couple of rounds.
They don't want to let it get steamrolled too easy. But like going into this one, Colin, the first 2 rounds were kind of almost convincingly won by Rise. Yes, there was a few contestations in there left and right, but it was convincingly on the side of Rise. Then this became a slugfest on the side of Hive, just winning a lot of these exchanges, going up even 3-2 as that lag out occurred. So I gotta ask you, what does Rise have to do to really pull themselves back into this one after losing the last 3 consecutive rounds?
They've got to get the setups back in their favor. I mean, one of the things that they were so dominant in was holding down Lancer lanes. It's when they were able to get that initial damage on Hive as they came into these engagements that they were so successful against this team. Instead, it seems as though they have let Hive start to play their game. They get the flashes out. They get the extra rotation into the shotgun fight. Next thing you know, Hive is getting a couple more shots in. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got some breaking news, and it makes me like this Hive squad a little bit more. Normally, under our rules and circumstances, you play the round out, and you just deal with the fact that one of your players lagged out. It should and would be 3-2 right now in the round count. Should and would, except Hive not only must be confident in their ability to win this map, but are showing supreme sportsmanship in saying, look, if you really think that that lag out costed you that round, we'll take you on again. We'll reset it at 2-2. We'll replay all of round number 5. So everybody in the chat, whether you're a Hive fan or not, applaud these young gentlemen and show them some respect, because that, my friends, is what it's all about.
Okay, so I was wrong anyway. I was wrong, by the way. I got a little replay on my side, and I initially did not think that Avexys lag out kind of affected the match because I thought the push was over. Yeah, no, that affected the match a lot, actually. Rise not only had 2 hills under their control, they won an early exchange when he lagged out. He was forced, to wait in the spawn. He's not playing anymore. And then the altercation happened with Hive and Rise. That fight broke out, and that's how they won, because they were down a man, or Rise was down a man. So like you said, great sportsmanship to come through. And now the show is on. This is live, ladies and gentlemen. 2-2. The match is now underway.
Match is back underway. Everybody rolling out of spawn, shocks, Boltox, the 1v1 to 3v3. We're going to see how both teams decide to play this. It looks like Hive is going to send somebody all the way up the stern, whereas Rise is playing purely down at the winch, but it looks like they might get caught out here very shortly. The back A's are starting to come through, starting to connect for Rise, and they pressure up, get the first kill, 4v3 on the map. Right now, Hive has to find a kill somewhere. They have to find an answer so that they can try to get back into this round without getting dominated too quickly or too early, but they do have the point advantage for just a moment.
And no, it's like a shark smelling blood in the water. He did not give up on that chase around the ramp and back. Big shots being fired, though. Finally, he gets shut down by Avexys, but it's INZEM. INZEM took the shot for him. INZEM has saved Noey, and that's the type of selfless play you want from your teammates here. But I don't know if it's going to change the result as Icy gets one. Taken out by TJ, though. An early capture on that hill. Put it on over towards Rise, but 2 quick decaps are going to come through, and the tables will turn right back on over to Hive.
TJ now has 2 players challenging him. He's going to have a teammate finally coming off a respawn. Back A on the Rushiez will get that first kill, and now Fran has to get out of dodge before he possibly goes down, but he's going to go down as well. Home Hill of Rise still being challenged. You see Solurs bouncing around. He's going to have a down. He gets the kill to come through. Last one on the hill will be Avexys trying to just survive, but doubling up on the points, and I think this is one of those situations where I don't know if you continue to pressure. I don't know if you get the over-aggression going again, because it could come back to bite you. And it looks like Hive is actually going to settle in and play out some defense.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to do. If they get this hill, fine. If they get the decap, that's okay as well. You need to make sure they don't get double decaps. Heck, even if they get the capture, you'll be sitting in a nice spot here. So this is where it comes through. What type of Hive we're going to see, but a well-placed shot grenade is going to cut off the ramp. That is going to be crucial for TJ staying alive and buying his team some time as they're about to eclipse the 200-point mark.
Now Rushiez will get that down. He'll get the kill. They'll get the hill. You see INZEM by himself. And it looks like they know that they've still got 45 seconds. They got about a full minute to go before they can come away with this round victory. So INZEM is just going to try to play some defense here. The longer he's alive, the harder it is for them to push the home. He has to go ahead and throw his life to the wayside as you see them push up, try to get that kill. And now it's going to be a 3-man defensive stand. Noey needs to make sure he doesn't get called out. There's Fran with the angle. Lancer out indeed. And I believe Noey's going to try to push up and get at least one of these picks onto Icy. 2 shots in. Icy trying to answer back. A little bit of a wiggle-waggle play from him. You see Noey trying to bait him back out. Avexys, though. Hive is going down one after the next. Fran with one. Avexys with one. Solurs bounces in and gets taken down. That's a 4-man retake by Rise. They win round number 5, the reset round, and they take the lead. They are 2 rounds away from a 2-1 map count victory in this matchup against Hive.
Yeah, I don't know if they heard me correctly on that one. I said, hey, if they take the E hill, it was fine. If they capture the E hill, it was fine. I didn't say anything about y'all home hill. Y'all need to make sure you know your win conditions and you play into it. I was in full control over that game, and they let it slip through on one final retake attempt. You got to give it to Rise. I said, it's usually this roster, this team that looks at the bigger picture. They figure out their moments, and then they create the perfect play, and the perfect play indeed right in the nick of time to steal that round away from Hive. So going into this one, I'm going to be looking at Hive here. Now the pressure is on Hive. How do you bounce back once more from getting a round stolen from you when you could have been up 3-2?
Now you see the retros and the shocks out for both squads. Again, 3v3. Rise actually sends somebody over to pick up their shock, so Hive should be able to get this initial cap at the mid-neutral hill. They need to get it off quickly, though, and force Rise into the fight that they want them to play. And I believe the shock was a little misthrown right there, PR.
Yeah, he had a noodle arm right there, as some would call it. Didn't go far at all. Gets cut short. Maybe he was trying to cut off INZEM, but I needed to see him bounce off the pillar. INZEM stuck to the rock in a hard place with the help of TJ. Comes out on top, and this is where I want to see them overextend. Take Icy down low at the bottom of the ramp, or Franchis here at the stern. But Franchis stunned himself. Those are not what you want to see happen. Another stun's going to keep Franchis stunned. Numbers game, the cross coming through. He is definitely going to get eliminated, but not without a price, as TJ gets downed as well.
They're going to get that kill. Still 3v2 top side of the map, and it looks like Solurs has actually gotten the over-aggression here at the F hill. I don't know if you need to stay in this fight. Big Solurs might want to get the damage, might want to get the decap, but he gets the second kill and the triple cap domination. My God, just tell me it's friggin' swinging and hanging. My man showed all the energy in that one. He said, I don't care who you are, what your name is, or how fast you bounce. I'm going to put you on your back any moment now. And he did just that to solidify the 3-3. And now it's a best-of-3 PR. First team to win 2 rounds is coming away with a dub.
I'm honestly scared for Hive. I'm scared for my predictions. One of the biggest question marks I had going in for Hive, obviously they haven't really been in this scenario before, is bouncing back when everything begins to crumble right before your very eyes. You get a round stolen prior, and then that happens right after. You can't let those moments slip through your fingers without an answer back. Talk about a swing round. This is one heck of a swing round between these 2 massive Titan teams.
Fran's going to get Lancered out, but Noey's going to go down. The opening salvo being won by Rise for now. And just back and forth, 2 dead for both sides. Now it's a 2v2 official. INZEM, though, Icy just absolutely embarrassing him in the cover battle. The home hill's going to get decapped. The neutral hill is going to be taken by Hive, and Hive has Solurs out on an island at the home hill of Rise. And this could be a pretty dangerous situation, but Rise is actually choosing to rotate up to E. They're sending all 4 players there. They left the home-to-home stretch.
Almost like they could read this one come. This is looking good, though. I like this coming through from Rise. Protect your E hill first. Get these eliminations. Then you can backtrack for your home hill. Then you can overextend for the enemy team's home hill, but you have to win this exchange. Big battles, big kills being traded off back and forth. For now, Rise is going to have the man advantage, but there's no points going their way. They won that neutral. Now you have to cap it and make sure this doesn't get out of reach for Hive to where you can turtle up on one hill. And if you look at that column towards the top half of the map, they haven't even broke their home hill just yet. Solurs is being a thorn in the side. Rushiez needs to finish off this elimination because if this continues, Solurs is doing a brilliant job.
Solurs living for literally ever. About 5 feet away from the spawn of Rise. And now Hive is actually rotated over to Rise's home hill. They've doubled up and more the score. This is looking bad for Rise in round number 7. They've got to find a way to break through. There's going to be a fight to come out here sooner, much rather than later. It's a 2-2 split for Rise. They've got to make sure that they get the correct push. They got to get the flashes out, get the actual stuns going before they push in and try to get these kills.
Who needs to stay alive here? It's another one of these rounds. You can't let slip through your fingers. You're beating yourselves at this point. Solurs need to find a way to stay alive. You don't need this hill here. Him and TJ might have been on different pages. TJ trying to make something out of nothing. He gets taken out as well. Another round right before our very eyes, Colin, going down to the wire. A crucial fight here on the home hill. INZEM by himself. He's getting sandwiched right now. He needs to stay alive. Nobody from Hive is on a home hill just yet.
You see INZEM trying to he's just trying to evade. He's trying to get away. It's a 2v2 at the home hill of Hive. The Incense there. Double Incense are there. The whole hill is engulfed in flames except for a little itty-bitty spot that Solurs found himself on. But it's going to come down to whether or not TJ can win a 1v against the Avexys at the E-hill. And he wins the 1v! What am I watching? Who am I watching? Who is the best? You are, I am. The push from Fran, not good enough. Hive solidify round number 7, 4-3.
And you best believe TJ going off of spawn, rotating towards that neutral. I was ready to roast you up. I was ready to cut you up and have you for dinner if that play did not come out on top in your favor. But that is what separates the men from the boys, the amateur players from the elite professional players, the ability to make a game-saving play, a round-winning match point-giving play on over to TJ. And instantly they put that lockdown on the shock. No more neutralization of the areas for you.
This has just been a back and forth match. There's the block from Hive. They say no more shock for you. We're going to try to win this 5-3. Rise pretty much has to do the same. They have to answer back with a shock of their own, which they do. And now we see it. It's going to be Incense for both squads, and that's the only utility on the map for anybody to use. Round number 8, rolling out of spawn right now. PR, this is on a knife's edge. Both teams are vying for a win in this map number 3. Hive is on the doorstep. They're knocking. They've rung the doorbell a couple of times. Nobody has answered just yet. INZEM, though, bouncing around. He finds one. TJ finds the other. They've got a 3v1 at the top. Noey finds the third. It's going to be up to Rushiez to live long enough for his team to come back. But Solurs, he finds himself on the wrong end of a barbecue grill, baby.
He might have heard you hyping him up a little too much. I know when you hype me up, I might get a little bit aggressive when I shouldn't. As Solurs gets taken out, we putting the pressure on Rushiez almost all day long to step up and step up in the perfect moment indeed, buying your team some time. Now the tables have turned. 3 players from Rise pushing up. Fran, he's going to take a lot of that damage to try to be the tip of the spear for the team. But look at Hive. They're set up. Shotguns ready. Rushiez goes down. Elimination coming through. Franchis has to make a play, and he gets taken out by Noey. That could very well be the final nail in the coffin.
It's got to try to be. I mean, Hive has the ability to now play some defense, try to settle in on this one. And all Rise can do is wait for people to come off of respawn. You can't keep pushing into misnumbered fights. You can't keep trying to rotate around the map to come away with these victories. Now, with all 4 members alive, Rise is going for a sneaky little play. There's the smoke. There's another one long range by Rushiez. I'm sure they're just trying to block out the fact that they're going for a 4-man home-to-home push right now. 2 downs, though. I believe that's Fran and Avexys. They're going to get cleaned up. Rushiez will find at least one kill in this engagement. Icy trying to push up on INZEM. There's another kill. So while Rise failed in the home-to-home, they might win the mid-neutral, but oh, by the by, Solurs will keep the 2-1 hill advantage in the favor of Hive as he takes over the home of Rise. And all he has to do is defend this up for a few seconds to really make this a painful situation for Rise. They've crossed the 200-point threshold. Noey has it down just outside their home. Rise is going to have to get a decap at the D hill come hell or high water. They're going to have to fight across the wave of momentum that has been Hive this entire match.
And Icy get a little aggressive, taken out at a time. One final push. It's not going to be organized. Coming down to straight eliminations here as this one closed down. TJ taking out Rushiez. The score continues. Fran is in position. He already has a massive amount of damage as Noey takes him out as well. The last remaining hope for Rise is going to be Icy, and he's blocked off by a well-placed INZEM. And there it goes. In map number 3, Hive come back and solidify a 5-3 victory and taking the series over Rise 2-1.
Beautiful job by all of Hive in that final round. Like you said, they played to perfection when it came to the defensive stand there in the last few moments. They took the two different 2v1s that they had. They lancered out. Once they had two members from Hive down, nobody could get the revive chain off. Now they know the push is coming at TJ at the other side of their home hill. TJ, with one elimination, can pretty much ice the game on that side of the map. They try to rotate extra men over to that E hill through the mid-cut area. It is not enough. It is not in time. Hive remain undefeated. They are still sitting atop of the mountain. And with plays like that, with the instincts that Hive is showing as the young guns, the way that they're playing not just for, but with one another, has made them possibly the scariest team on the planet week in and week out to see on your schedule.
Yeah, I might have been right in my predictions and right in my power rankings about one team. Congratulations, Hive. Like I said, 2-1. That's going to be a big victory. You see some of the replays going down. This was one heck of a matchup between these two teams. You saw Avexys go big. You see Franchis go big early on in those first two rounds. But after those first two rounds, it was heavily in the favor of Hive, forcing shotgun fight after shotgun fight, whether it was individuals or on a team basis. And to me, that was one of their biggest keys to victory.
I mean, without a doubt, one of the biggest keys to victory. And another one here on map 3. I said it in the pregame. I'll continue to sing his praises anytime I get the chance to. Solurs, I cannot, like, I know you said I shouldn't hype him up as much as I do because it might get his head a little bit too big. But that man absolutely did dirty things in every 1v1 he found himself in. Right here, the round-winning, possibly map sealing. This is just... That's just ice in your veins, knowing